There's a lot of encouragement to not disassociate. Like disassociation equals bad, right? To put it in that good bad duality. But disassociation and any other kind of stress response is your body's wisdom. It's a form of protection. So when we are in a perception of threat that is more powerful than us, so when the threat that we're experiencing or perceiving appears to be more powerful than us, our nervous system is going to take us to dorsal or to disassociation, freeze or fawn, right? If our experience and our perception tells us that it's better to just play dead, then we're going to disassociate, we're going to freeze. If it tells us that it's better to try to convince the threat that we're going to like make it better or we're going to please them, then we'll go into the fawn. So, like, if there's a tiger, right, or someone with a weapon, we may be more likely just to freeze. If there's a situation where we have a track record with this person, that if we like try to please them or try to fix it, that is makes the threat subside, then we're going to go into a fawn. Both of those are the body's wisdom that has been compiled over 500 million years of evolution of the vagus nerve to give us strategies that will help us to survive, so that we can reproduce, right? That's all of what evolution is about. So when we communicate to ourselves and to others that disassociation is bad, not only are we going to shame ourselves or others, we're also going to sort of communicate to ourselves and others that it's not a valid response or that we should eliminate that response. Disassociation is really helpful in a lot of contexts when you're sensory overstimulated, when you're in a situation that you don't have a lot of choice, when you just don't have any resources left and you need to get through an experience. For example, when I am in an indoor soccer arena to support my kid, I do all of the things I can to support myself, like wear something that covers overhead lights, wear night driving glasses and earplugs, sit by myself, bring a nervous system supporting activity like sewing. I can do all of that. And if it's at the end of a long day and I had to drive at night and I have low resources, I'm likely going to disassociate. So while the other parents are able to chat and do all of that, I may just sort of be off to the side, like present, but not like physically present, but not mentally engaged with the game. And that is a wise decision of my nervous system to take care of me so that I can have the resources to drive myself home, or so that I don't have a complete meltdown. I value that and I honor that. And when I notice it, I use that as information so that, on any given day, I may say to my kiddo, I'm not going to be joining your soccer game today because my nervous system doesn't have the resources to support me through it. So that wisdom is something that we're not going to try to like intervene or stop. So I'm not going to, in the middle of that game, be like, pay attention, get present, don't disassociate. But as I reflect afterwards, when I'm able to safely come out of that disassociation, I'm going to use it as information so that I can do that self inquiry. Okay, why did I go into that? Was it about the night driving? Was it about the day? Was it about the stadium? Was it just a fluke? And I'm going to make decisions moving forward based on that information and that self inquiry. On the other side of things, when we go into sympathetic, it's also something we don't want to stop. We don't want to stop anger. We don't want to eliminate anger. It is, again, really helpful information, a well developed mechanism of the nervous system that is there to protect us when we perceive that the threat is at our level or below our level. So we're probably going to fight when we perceive that it's below our level. We're going to perhaps, flee or run when it's at our level, or it could be a mixture of those, but basically it's at or below. We're going to fight or flight. And that's going to be effective and wise and helpful. And then following that experience of being sympathetic, we can use that information again and do some self inquiry and start to understand what was going on, what the message was from our nervous system. And as we do more of the self inquiry and as we increase our overall nervous system resources through daily nervous system support and bringing self inquiry and compassionate validation to ourselves and to our nervous system experience on the planet, we will grow in our capacity, and those messages will have to be less intense because we're probably not going to put ourselves in as threatening situations, or we're going to make modifications and accommodations so that things are not as threatening to us. So, like I said, I may not be a person who's able to consistently go to night games in a loud environment at the end of a workday after night driving, but I can learn that I maybe on those days I work a half a day and I do a bunch of rest before I go to the game, or I take breaks and only go to some of the games, et cetera, et cetera. So I can modify things once I've gained that good information from my wise nervous system, who's helped me by giving me options to protect myself from perceived threats, whether those are in real time or they're just a response to childhood or epigenetic ancestral experiences. It doesn't matter because the body is perceiving those things as real. And when we are able to have compassion for them and meet them gently, support them with nervous system exercises and compassionate inquiry, we can understand what's going on and better support ourselves moving forward. Lots of love.